And welcome to the Confound Millennial, starring Steven Stirvin Michaels and featuring Trey and Johnny of Spirit Breaker. And what's up, guys?
How's it going
today, man?
It's going good, man. I'm tired as hell, late night, but hey, we're here, we're doing it, we're persevering, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to.
Trying to.
Keyword
Got
trying to.
our energy just flowing through my veins and nothing but that, but we trying. So tell us a little bit about Spirit Breaker, who you are, what genre you would call yourselves, and any information that somebody that doesn't know who you are might need.
Okay, cool. Well, for starters, I'd like to consider us a progressive metalcore band, but you can just label us a metalcore band for everyone else's sanity. I'll try not to bring my wild, annoying genre elitism into the band, but we're Spirit Breaker. We are a 5-piece now. We just got a new member added to the band, Hannah. She sings, so that's pretty cool. Fans have been asking if they get to hear her in any of the new tracks. Well, sure enough, she had already recorded with us way before we even knew she was going to be in the band. So she's actually on the title, not the title track, but the opening track for the record. The record is 43 minutes long, and it is a slightly techie beater experience that I hope everyone will enjoy in the next 2 weeks. Random Spirit Breaker information. I based the name off of an ABR song. What do you want?
That's August 13th, right? When the album's coming out?
Yes, sir.
And everybody make sure to go ahead, pre-order that and all that good stuff, because you're not going to regret it. It's a good album. I've just got done listening to it, and
hey,
nice. Well, I
really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and I was wondering who the female was on the opening track, and that's good to know that she's in the band.
Well, now you know. Yeah, we had this awkward conversation where we're like, man, I hope it doesn't say like in streaming services featuring Hannah, because I'm like, this is awkward.
Does not.
Thank God. But yeah, man, if you don't mind me asking, what was your favorite song off the album?
I gotta say, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Wait, hold on, let me guess. If you don't know how to pronounce it, it's probably, is it Lux Nova?
No, it starts with an F.
Oh,
I just played it up.
Floros, right?
Floros. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I can respect that. Yeah, Floros is actually is because people are gonna do their research. Someone's come out and say it. Floros is the name of a demon.
Okay.
Now, I don't know much about Floros from biblical lore, but I am a huge Mobile Suit Gundam fan. There's a Gundam series called oh my God. Yes. It just pulls out the Gundam, bro. This is gonna be a great time. So yeah, Floros is based on. Oh well, I'm at home. I have it right here. So this is Floros. It's from Iron Blooded Orphans. which you can watch that on Netflix if you like Gundam enough and you want to watch it. But yeah, that particular song, I haven't really said this at all in public, really. So I guess for the sake of this interview, I'll say it. I had a best friend that I knew for about almost like 22 years. We grew up together. He lived like literally 4 houses down from me. And basically, he built this Gundam for me, like this Gundam kit, because when I first got into the hobby, I was too afraid to build them because I was so afraid I was going to mess them up. So I would have him buy kits for me, and I would pay him to build it or whatever. And without getting messy, our friendship just didn't work out. He said some things that I just didn't appreciate, and I started to realize that like just who I was as a person and who he was or becoming, we were just 2 totally different people with 2 totally different paths. And like, I just didn't, for what I was pursuing or what I needed, I just couldn't handle that kind of energy. So we finished the album, you know, the second time because we went in to record, like, I want to say a couple tracks, and then Stardust Memory originally wasn't on the record. And I was like, man, none of these songs kind of just feel like they can just start the album for me. So we did Stardust Memory, and we thought we were done. And then Solid State wanted more singles. And then we're like, yeah, but we've already dropped like 4. So then we went to the studio, and then, yeah, you got Flauros because of that. So I needed a new song lyrically, and I don't ever want to not be authentic or not be myself or make something that isn't relatable. So I ended up writing Flauros about the experience I had with him, about how essentially it's like losing a brother because 2 people can no longer be sensible and reasonable with one another. And that is the embodiment of Flauros. Flauros just happened to be the last thing that he gave me that I actually dismantled and repainted and rebuilt myself, because I didn't want something I loved to have a like tarnished memory attached to it. So I thought that this would be a therapeutic process to rebuild, repaint, and base the song off of it. So there you go.
That's something that a lot of people, I mean, I think everybody can relate to. You know, we've all had that friend that we thought we were super close with, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, I guess we weren't close at all, were we?
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Johnny, you've been quiet over there. What is it that you do for the band?
Well, I try to play guitar. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just here, bro.
Just here, just enjoying the conversation. We got our live studio audience, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't know
he's
how
just
I
here
got
for
in
moral
here,
support.
man. I just stumbled in this chat, I think. No, man, I just been writing music, and like Trey was saying, we wrote Flauros within like a month period of time. We had to write it, track it, and basically Solid State wanted to put it out, and we had like a month to do it. So that one came quick.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that it is doing as well as it is, because I mean, some of the other songs on the album we've had several years to work on, which sounds crazy. But I mean, Lux Nova on the album, that's been written since 2016. So we've been sitting on it for a while. Yeah.
It's the ones you don't expect to take off that do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Man, trust me, like, it's so crazy to me because like we did an interview recently, and I was just telling the guy, I'm like, man, I don't know, but and this is no offense to you because Flauros is your favorite song, and I'm like, I just don't know why everyone loves that song more than these other songs. When it was like a gift, you know. It was just like, oh man, I didn't have to give you this, but I thought you'd enjoy it, so here you go. And you're like, no, bro, this is phenomenal. And then I'm looking around like, but what about all these other gifts I've given you? And everyone else like, yeah, they're cool, but they ain't that. I'm like, I'm just afraid to give you another song now because, like, what if you think it's trash because it's not Floros?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, music's so crazy, man. It's like everyone hears things a certain way, and you'll
It's
never be able to hear it the way that they hear it.
it's so crazy,
And
man. Yeah.
it's
Everyone's
exciting.
opinion is different, you know.
Yeah. Because like I said, obviously, I think I'm going to appreciate Floros more once I finally can play it live. Because obviously, it's going to be in the set list. That's an automatic thing. And I know live, everything that I'm missing from it, I'm gonna get live. I just gotta freaking play it.
So I usually ask people what their least favorite song that they got coming out is, and I'd take it that is yours.
Okay, all right. So I don't hate. Okay, for the first time ever, we made a record where most of the songs I actually love. There's only one song that I'm like, but it's the more I listen to the record, it is starting to grow on me a lot more. It's actually Inhabitant is the one I don't like that much.
See, look at his
I saw,
expression.
look at his eyes. I saw him immediately go like, what?
Everyone's got the same expression.
Yeah, everyone's like, Trey, what do you mean? I'm just like, man, it doesn't do it for me. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, man, like I get it. It's got a fantastic chorus. I understand that. It's got a frick ton of heavy parts, and there's like the sweet after the burial like techie chuggy section at the end. I get it. It's got some cool stuff in it. But for whatever reason, man, I'm just like, nah. Like I'm so afraid that people will hear that song and we'll have to play it.
That would be my best case scenario, but
yeah, he loves that song. So
bro,
I mean,
I don't know. I've always said there's something special about that song, and for the longest time, me and him have been going back and forth about it. But the thing is, man, I won in the end because we had the guy that produced our album, and then Adam from Solid State both said, "Oh, bro, Inhabitant is great," and Trey's just like, "Are you kidding me?"
They were like,
"Bro,
we had a meeting.
Yeah,
bro, we had a meeting, and like we're sitting there on the phone with Adam, and he's just like, all right, bro, so what are you guys thinking like for a single, you know? And I was like, I'll be honest, bro, I love all the songs enough, but just don't freaking say Inhabitant, dog. Just don't say that, and we're good. And he's like, man, he's like, honestly, Trey, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's a great song. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, literally everyone has said it. I let my friend hear a clip of like the album like a couple months ago, and he's like, bro, I heard it happening in the car and damn near cried. And I'm like, for what? I'm done.
That's funny, but isn't that how it is? Like you never appreciate things the way other people do.
Yeah.
I wish I could, you know? Like I don't wanna not vibe with the vibe that everyone else is getting, but you know, I guess because everything is always so personal to me when it comes to music, I feel like did I put my all into Inhabitant? Yeah, I rewrote the lyrics to that 3 times. So like it was different every time I did it, you know, trying to figure out what the perfect cadences were or making a chorus that was like very big and like stood out, which I personally truly I think Inhabitant has one of the best choruses off the album. I will say that. I can't deny that. But I'm just like my personal favorites are like Hollow Presence and Lux Nova. And I know like the fans are going to be divided with Lux Nova. I expect that. I already see that coming. Hollow Presence is it's a big deal to me because it's like lyrically it's like Hello Drifter, but from a totally different perspective. Hollow Presence is like how it feels to be self-destructive. Hello Drifter is what it's like to have self-loathing. So they kind of go hand in hand, especially being like two of the heaviest songs, if not the two heaviest songs on the record. So it's like I'm hoping because of what those songs mean to me that people will connect with Hollow Presence more, which sucks because Hollow Presence was originally supposed to be the first single off the record, if not the second.
It seems like a lot of the album has, mental health kind of at the forefront of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. Was that my intention? No, but I think it's weird, man. Like, okay, so the only way I can really explain this is just to base it off the experience, I guess. In 2017, like shortly after the album, our producer hit us up and he's like, "Yo, I got all this new stuff. You guys just want to do a free song because I want to text out my mixing and stuff." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course." I had been dealing with a breakup, but it wasn't like the song is not about the breakup. The song is about everything I did from my perspective that led up to the breakup. To be honest, wasn't even a thing that she had mentioned. It was just something I was going through. It was weird. I had like this awkward stage of post tracking or post recording depression, in which I didn't even know was a thing, but it seems to always happen after I leave the studio. It's like you have this euphoric experience because you're getting, well, for me, I'm getting out a lot of stuff that I've like kept in that I finally can say out loud, and to watch it become an artistic entity of sound, that it's like it was such a euphoric experience that once I walk out of that booth and we're going home, I just feel extremely sad. And I don't know why that's always been a thing, but I realize it more and more. But I realized after the breakup, after I started to get over it, I had this weird feeling of just like being disappointed in myself because I felt like I should have been putting more work into the band and like things that I loved, or like just stage performance and things like that. And then I started to feel guilty for not, I guess, being the best version of me. So I would wake up with this odd feeling of sadness, and I kind of started to hate myself for it. And Hello Drifter is about how it felt every day to have to wake up, to tell your family and friends your issues and problems, for them to be like, I love you and everything's going to be cool. And it sucks because you need to hear those things. But it's like when you hear them immediately during that time, it does nothing for you. And excuse my language, it feels so shitty as a friend or lover or whatever to be on the receiving end and just be like, "Oh, thanks." And that's why the line, despite your love, despite all the love that my loved ones give me, I still hate myself because I was still not feeling or getting any better during that time, but I was trying to. That is what Hello Drifter is all about. Pure Fury and Wonder, real quick, is about doing certain things that you are ashamed of or aren't happy with the outcome. But as you did them, you knew what the possibility of the negative outcome was, and it was your fault, and you still chose to do it. So now you're angry at yourself, and you wonder why you're angry at yourself, because you created this whole cluster of self-diminishing issues. And that's why the song is called Pure Fury and Wonder. And the line, my fury will reign forever, is just how it feels to be in that constant state and not know how to get out of it. But I know everyone else is looking at that like, "Oh, my fury will reign forever," and I'm like, I'm glad you look at it that way, but that's not what it's about. And personally, I don't want them to look at it the other way. I want them to look at it as the driving way. I do this thing where sometimes I write certain things to trick the listener into thinking that I mean something from the positive standpoint. I don't always. but I cannot write negative music without writing positive music. I'll never be able to do one without the other. There has to be a light at the end of the tunnel with everything.
Cool.
So I think this last process, I did struggle, not necessarily with mental stability, but just being stable as a human being. I struggled with that a lot. And it was the first time I ever realized that. And so instead of just giving another album that was like kind of lyrically embodying, yes, you can do anything that you put your mind to, I kind of was like, man, yes, but sometimes it's hard as hell to wake up in the morning to get there. And everybody needs to understand that everyone isn't invincible and we're all flawed. And sometimes everything is about doing the best you can, not necessarily about succeeding or failing, but just the fact that you gave it 100.
And
sorry that was like super long.
No, you're good, man. You're good. But that really is, like, I know so many people, like everybody just went through a rough damn year last year,
Oh yeah.
Oh, even
And,
honestly, man, I hate this year too. Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. This year's been actually pretty not bad for me.
Okay. So check this out. Musically, it's been awesome. It has been so good. Like music that has been released this year has been great. Even with bands I don't even like that much, it's been fire. The touring that's coming up, the music videos, all this great new stuff coming out of the woodwork. Sick. But when my life has nothing to do with music, agony. So that's where I'm at. I'm so ready to tour and give people the product they deserve and give people the performance they deserve and make new friends. And like, I don't care about being like huge or famous or anything like that, man. I just want to connect with people, bro. I just want to hear their experiences. Maybe we can share experiences and maybe we can come up with ideas that we couldn't come up with alone that will help us get to somewhere that we need to be. That's all that matters to me.
I think that's why I've been enjoying this year, because since I've hooked up with the PR company, Adam Splitter, I've been
this is new for you.
And bands and connecting with people on the daily. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I went from last year, everybody went last year not really having much connection with other people. And then this year, I've just been able to connect with so many people. It's almost overwhelming sometimes.
Got to make up for that whole year and a half that you lost, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
But so, I am glad that you said you've been enjoying the year. It is nice to hear everyone else's perspective from a positive standpoint. So that's really enlightening to hear.
Yeah. My listeners are tired of hearing me say this part, but I mean, last year I ended up homeless. So anyway, that is not that. It is pretty good year. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm really sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. It's a part of what got me here, man.
Yeah.
You can't look down on it. You can say that it sucks because it sucked, but without going through that shit, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
You got to take the bad with the good, even though the bad might suck really bad.
Yeah, I think after hearing our record, I think you know that I know that all too well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I'm happy for you, bro. I'm glad that you got this opportunity, and I hope that this is something you get to do as long as you want to do it.
Dude, hell yeah. And I'm glad you guys are getting ready to release an album, show the world what you've been sitting on for some years.
Man, oh my God. Like, it's so funny. Like, I told somebody the song that like influenced me to write the lyrics for our song A Cure for Wellness. And they were like, bro, that came out like 4 years ago. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we've been working on this album a long time. But it was Lucid by Polaris actually was my musical influence for Cure for Wellness.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just want to cut back to one thing. It's not really music related. I ask everybody this question.
Okay.
And I think I already know the answer after the Gundam you pulled out earlier. But who would you say is the nerdiest member of the band?
Oh my gosh, bro!
I
They
mean,
all are.
it's kind of hard, honestly, because
I'm
okay,
the
so
only one that's not. I have to deal with all four of them, bro.
yeah, really, like, man, oh my god, it's hard because like, all right, so okay, everyone in the band minus him. Everyone in the band watches anime, and we're all into like Marvel and stuff like that. I think even Johnny is into the Marvel stuff, but like, we're all very nerdy in our own way. But like, for example, like I'm a huge Gundam fan, but when you come into my room, you'll just see Gundams and you'll see band wall flags. You wouldn't see any like anime stuff or anything like that. But I'm still a huge anime fan. I'm just not like an anime weeb. I'm strictly Gundams, because it's also a hobby. But I want to say Alex, man, really. Like, I really want to say Alex. Like
he's got action figures and stuff all over the place.
Action figures, anime figurines, like Naruto Funko Pops. He plays more video games than anyone else in the band.
Oh my god!
He just always next to me.
Oh yeah.
See, yeah, this is essentially this is how Alex's stuff would kind of look. So you're right on par.
But yeah, man, you can't see it because the frame of the video, but I've got nerd posters everywhere. Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts.
That's awesome.
Kill la Kill, all sorts of stuff, man.
Even though fans don't know this enough because I haven't found a way to put it in the Spirit Breaker. I don't know if I ever will. I am a huge Mega Man fan. Like, yes. Like I have like I 3 Mega Man action figures, but since my move, I just haven't taken them out of the boxes yet. Right. But like, yeah, I've carried that with me from like childhood, like for forever. But yeah, I think I feel like just being a nerd in today's day and age, it's more acceptable and people connect with it more. Like for example, I love how Silent Planet will play Super Smash Bros with their fans and stuff before like sets. I think that's awesome. I would love to bring model kits to like our shows and like talk about Gundam stuff with our fans, but like God would never let me have that kind of power. Like I would just, man, if life goes the way I want it to go, and I can pursue like music stuff and then go to like Gundam events and somehow be on like Gundam YouTubes, I would be way too powerful. Like I have to have a limit. So I know I'll probably be too busy with music to do that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna try.
I love when bands get to or get talking about like what they'd like to bring outside of the band to like a show or whatever. Like I had a guy that's on yesterday that's really big into recovery and AA and stuff, and he was talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I love like getting all the bands together and having our little AA meetings before the show." And I'm like, really, all right.
I mean, I might need an AA meeting, bro. Like, you know, like if we were on tour with a band we never heard of, and we're at the venue and they got the seats rolled out, and he's like, "Man, have a seat," and then we're all in a circle, and I'm like, what is this? And he just starts talking about feelings and emotions. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna sit right down, bro. Because like, it's crazy, man. I feel like you start to care more about mental health, on normal circumstances, as you get older, like everyone has their everyone has their dark experiences, but I feel like as you get older, you start to see a lot of things that you weren't subjected to at a younger age, and then you begin to value mental stability more. So if a guy said he wanted to do AA meetings, I'm after every show or before, I'm so down for that. Especially if we get donuts and like bagels and like apple cider.
It's like you're talking about, just like you become more aware of mental health stuff as you get older. It's like I spent most of my life thinking that I just had a crap ton of depression, anxiety. I've spent a year in therapy and now, and she was like, yeah, most of that's PTSD from being raised like you were, right? I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
It's so crazy, bro, because someone will tell you some stuff and you'll hear, you're like, nah. And then they keep talking and you're like, man, you might be on to something.
She told me, she's like, so how long have you known about having ADHD? I was like, what? And then I started calling my friends and they're like, you didn't know? I was like, dude, your ADHD is crap. You can't focus on nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's
I even called my mom and she was like, you didn't know? I'm like, you never took me.
Oh my god.
Damn it, Mom.
Oh man, dude.
Man. I just think
man, and I'm here for it.
Like I said, man, we just gotta be willing to communicate our feelings more and be willing to not necessarily reciprocate that, but sometimes just listen. I think people mix up the concept of actually listening to someone else with just hearing them. But like, you got to absorb it too. And that's the problem that people are still having in today's society, is that we'll listen to our friends and let them talk, but it's kind of just like, yeah, man, I just let you speak just so you can get that all out. But I maybe I didn't feel you, like I've never had anyone say that to me, but sometimes I will stop a person and be like, yo, man, I'm sorry, but like I'll ask questions or just ask them to start from the beginning because I want to get into what they're saying. I don't want that to just fall on deaf ears. And I think the more people start to consider that, the better off we'll be.
I know I've got an issue with I find myself often listening just to figure out what I'm going to say next. I think a lot of people do that, or maybe it's me, but I feel like a lot of people do. Just we're in this world where we're just it's all me.
Well, I had two people tell me yesterday that I don't always listen, that I just talk apparently. And I'm like, while I disagree with you, if two different people are saying it, then I got to get better about it.
Right.
And that's how I look at it. Like, no one's perfect. I want to be better. So I'm glad that I have friends that'll just point that out. Like, yeah, bro, you don't actually do that. You do this instead. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now that I know, how can I fix that?
That's all you can do, man. But so we're running out of time really quick, but I wanted to ask a couple more things. Number one, y'all got any shows coming up anytime soon?
All right. Okay. So, because it's not announced yet, so I'm just gonna say this.
If it ain't announced, we ain't talking about it. We can move on.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say this. I won't tell you who's on it, because that's the part that'll get me in trouble. But we are playing with another Michigan band that is also on a label. In November, actually. And I believe we're co-headlining that. So, unfortunately, because the band doesn't want to hear this, unfortunately, we're probably going to play most of the new record. I say unfortunately because it's not easy to play compared to our earlier stuff.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, but I am looking forward to it. You know, it's also at a venue that I've never played at before, so that's cool. I would love to do more shows prior, but we haven't really revealed this yet. Hannah is actually in school for music. She's a phenomenal bass player, so good that I'm pretty sure that they pay her to go to the school. Yeah, so she can play circles around us. So she's just trying to finish up school, and then once she's done with that, we're going to probably have more shows, so we don't have to like have a fill-in for her most of the time that we're gone. We are touring. The tour isn't set in stone yet. I can't say who's actually on that because it isn't really confirmed, but it is going to be with one or two other solid state bands, and it should be in the mid to late February, early March area.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you guys got any merch or anything you need to plug?
So I'll say this.
Any way we can support, man. Any way we can support.
I'll say this. In our big cartel, all of our existing merch from our human nature cycle is still available in various sizes. There is a Hello Drifter shirt and a Sick Fox shirt that we're probably going to reprint in the future because it was a custom design by one of our friends who does tattoos.
Oh yeah.
The new song, well, it isn't new to you because you have the album, but the new song, The Mountain Between Us, drops next Friday. And we're going to do a merch rollout, maybe not necessarily next Friday, but there is going to be a design that we already have. It's a front and back shirt. You'll be able to get it in like a sky blue tealish color, and you'll be able to get it in black. On the back of the shirt, it has two mountains and a man traveling through those two mountains, and it's all snowy. And it's got lyrics from The Mountain Between Us on it. So
Nice.
fans will have that to look forward to.
All right. Well, if that's all you guys got as far as plugs and stuff, all the links will be in the description. Thank you guys for coming on. This has been a great episode. Love getting to talk about.
I had a fantastic time, man.
Yeah.
What was that?
I had a fantastic time, bro.
Thank you. And as always, stay saucy, everybody. This has been the Confound Millennial, starring Steven Stirvin Michaels, featuring Trey and Johny of Spirit Break.